Natya is the dance form, and Yagna is an offering. I'd like to share with you very quickly my experience of a Yagna. I was perhaps about 12 or 14 years old, and as it was customary, every summer holidays, I went to visit my grandmother in a village called Dimili, which is situated in Andhra Pradesh, south of India. This was like any other summer vacation, except every evening, all the villagers, the men, gathered under a tree to discuss something which seemed important, and all the women were involved in making sure that everybody had something to drink and everybody had something to eat, so on and so forth. Later we came to know that there was a very popular, respected guru and priest called Jir Swami who was coming to conduct a big offering, a big yagna they call, in the village. So all the villagers would have good health, and most importantly at that time, water, because there was a shortage of water. And out of word of mouth, the neighboring villages came to know about this, and they contacted the leaders of this village, Dimli, and about 10 to 15 neighboring villages were going to come, which meant at least 10,000 people coming to this village. So there was so much activity in the village, and everybody contributed to something or the other. And on the final day, there was just rows of people serving food, cooking food, and kids like us just eating and just standing there, being very surprised at how well one small village was able to facilitate organize and do the kind of coordinated work which, I mean, those were the days when there was no cell phone too. So just word of mouth and organizing these meetings, they did a phenomenal job of putting together. And later, many years later, when I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, I realized that till then, my idea of a yagna was the actual offering, the fire and the ablutions and the priest chanting the Vedic mantras. It was many years later I realized that a yagna is not the actual offering, but the spirit with which a community comes together to conduct an event for the common good. And when Bansari wanted to do a performance, she said, I want to do something for my community. I gave her the title Natya Yagna, not knowing at that time, as I do now, that really the entire community at Harrisburg came together for this event. I am very happy. I'm so proud of each one of you who came together. If there were differences, I didn't see it. All I saw was every parent, every student coming together for something. They believed in their teacher, Bansari, and Bansari believed in serving her community. It was such a simple thought, and today I'm very happy to see all of you here to support this event. Bharatanatyam is a tradition that is handed down from teacher to student as a continuous tradition. Today, I can't say this enough. As a teacher, I've been teaching this for, I don't know, maybe 25 over years. But what is really wonderful is to see that one of my senior students is Bansari's teacher. So I get to see my student's student and her students. So in a way, a very young great-grand teacher. Thank you. Thank you. And for all of us who are teachers, it's moments like this that we realize that our frustrations in the creative process is very small compared to the riches, compared to this experience of seeing just how much they have learned beyond the classroom. Bharatanatyam is not about what happens in the classroom. 3 days ago, my mother was admitted in the hospital. It was my student who took her to the hospital, stayed with her overnight, took care of her, and that student happens to be Bansari's teacher. So it's just not something we go do for an hour. It's a life beyond the classroom and the values that they will learn. So, welcome to Natya Yagna. Technology has kind of made classical arts a very difficult practice because nobody has the mental ability, the strength, the concentration to focus and to enjoy the depth and the layered narrative of the dance form. It is going to be a challenge for most of you not to look at your phone and to keep it in silent mode. But please, this is a meditative practice and this is our lives. I would like you to honor that. And there are pieces like Mata Parashakti which are very intense for the dancers. So please do not move at that time. And I cannot see the last row, but if there is a restless energy somewhere, I'm going to sense it. So I would invite you all onto this wonderful pilgrimage called Natya Yagna. We will begin with a Mallari. Now the Mallari, if you can imagine, is the music they played when they took the god in procession. They would take the god around the village so that every family can have a glimpse of the idol dressed in rich finery and jewels. The musicians would be wind instruments called Nadaswaram and percussion called Tawil. And ahead of them, the dancers used to dance to this tune. This is a modified version of the tune set for the Bharatanatyam repertoire. This particular piece, I choreographed that piece. This will be followed by a song in praise of the goddess. This is the triumph of, the song is a celebration of the triumph of good over evil. And Mahishasuramartini, as it is called, was composed by Bansari's teacher, Anusha, and my student, of course. Welcome, and I now present Mallari, followed by Mahishasuramartini Stotra.